We're back here at Boom and Bust with our monthly panel, the Honorable Gary Marr, now head of the Canada West Foundation, by the way. Of course, he's doing great work there. And of course, the Honorable Joe Oliver, former Finance and Natural Resources Minister. Joe, I had to cut you off there, but please continue with your analysis of resource development.
Sure. What is critical also, in addition to the federal government's position, is the position of the provinces and, of course, for First Nations. And we recall that Energy East was blocked because the then premier of Quebec says there wasn't social acceptability. Well, the polls indicate that the Quebec population is in favor of it. I don't know whether the government there has fully moved over or not. There's some signs that he might have, but it's not only Quebec. We've got British Columbia. We've got an NDP government there that doesn't want to get rid of the tanker bill. But we simply have to move these projects forward in an expeditious way, and we can't let regulatory impediments get in the way. But if the provinces are not on side, or even if a few aren't, then frankly, it's going to be very difficult to do, because they can use lawfare to create endless delays and make for an uneconomic environment. And what major pipeline company is going to invest 10 years and billions of dollars in a project which might be derailed because of political opposition? So, there's got to be not only a willingness, but a credible long-term willingness, or else the private sector isn't going to put the money in, and that's of course crucial. So, and this is an absolutely essential part of getting Canada out of its economic decline, because our productivity is low, and we need to find ways to improve our growth. So I get that. A lot has to be done.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to say this. Yeah. I mean, I agree with Joe. Is that this is in some ways a Gordian knot, but I would say that the Prime Minister has a bit of leverage for provinces like British Columbia. Having an oil or a gas pipeline going off the west coast of British Columbia would be extremely important to provinces of Alberta and Saskatchewan. But the Prime Minister has this leverage that says, you know what, we need to get this done, and if you want me to put money into sort of expanding your port, in the city of Vancouver, you're going to have to play ball. So there is a bit of leverage that the Prime Minister does have, and I think that the alignments of the provinces and the territories have been pretty good when it comes to infrastructure across Western Canada. The four Western premiers and the premiers of the three Northern territories all agreed to a port-to-port corridor that would go from Prince Rupert to Churchill, Manitoba. They're all very supportive. This is a step in the right direction. And so there are some things that are happening that I hope will become reality. But again, as Joe points out, until there's action that breathes life into those ambitions, we'll have to see what goes on.
There's a lot of goodwill out there in the country, but at the end of the day, there has to be improvements.
Well, that's right. And the goodwill starts with, everybody supporting the Edmonton Oilers in the Stanley Cup playoffs, of course.
That's right.
So let's just put that in there. But yeah, I mean, I think the premiers had a good FMM, and I think the Prime Minister did as well. Mm-hmm. And, it actually leads into the next question about breaking down interprovincial trade barriers. So Premier Ford had a good day. He signed MOUs with Alberta and Saskatchewan, New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, and he's working with Premier Eby, and he is trying to show national leadership that is not federal leadership, and I think that's good. The MOUs are what they are, though, which is agreements to agree. It's a commitment to making best efforts to knocking down
Right.
some of these trade barriers. Some of them are easy, and the easy ones have been done. The harder ones, have a lot more work to be able to accomplish. I chatted with the minister responsible for this, Chrystia Freeland, at the First Minister's meeting, and she's committed to doing these things, and I hope that happens.
We're going to take another brief break. We'll be back with our guests after these messages.